Tip number 5, inside outside. This takes that sense one step further. It's not just about setting up views from one room through another room to the outside. It's actually about really connecting the inside of the space to the outside Here we can see this is a very small terraced house. This particular one's in West London, and there's been a small extension to the side. Again, less than a metre of extension there, but it's also made all the difference to the sense of this room. Then opening up the rear of the house, bifolding the doors at the end, and keeping the level of the floor to the decking outside continuous to get a sense that the deck outside is just another room, enhancing that sense of depth, enhancing that sense of space, and really giving you a sense of how much space is available, really wringing every inch out of this house. Another example, inside to outside. Here we've used an enormous sliding door. It's slid back here, but this door slides all the way across to the corner there. That's the kitchen and sort of family hub of this house. And again, we've got the floor level running through at the same level as the terrace outside. When you're in this house and the door's open and the sun's shining, there's really a sense that the outside is just a continuation of the space. It makes the kitchen feel an awful lot bigger. And of course, when you're inside and it's filthy weather outside and it's cold and wet and horrible, you've still got this huge, great sheet of glass. One of the advantages of a big sliding door over bifolding doors is when it's shut, it's less interrupted view. You get larger expanse of glass, and so when the door's shut, as it is, to be honest, most of the year in this country, you still get that enhanced sense of the space inside to outside. Here's an even more daring example of the inside to outside effect. This extension, we weren't content with building the bifolding doors just on one face, but we did it on two faces. Engineering here was quite tricky because this roof needed to be very, very well engineered to make sure it didn't move. If that corner had dipped down at all, then the doors would jam. So the engineering was quite tricky, but the effect when you open the doors right back in both directions is absolutely tremendous. Having a post here in the corner, which most builders would have insisted upon, would have really ruined the effect, as you can imagine. This is where having an architect help you with a design can really make a difference. Sorry if I'm rattling through, but I've got half an hour and I want to make sure I get through all of my 10 tips. The next thing, obviously, again, allied to the inside-outside, is the effect of daylight. Daylight has a wonderful effect on our interiors. If we can enhance the daylight, maximize the amount of daylight coming in, particularly using it intelligently, we can again really, really help the effect and create a much greater sense of space inside. Here's a fairly obvious way of using daylight. In this loft conversion, we've got a bath in a sort of hero position and two roof windows. Very simple construction, nothing particularly expensive here, but you can see the effect of that light as it draws into that room. The little feature window here that was an original part of the house contributes very little to the amount of daylight in the room, but it's much more of a visual feature. The work for the light is being achieved by these two roof windows. But it's not just in lofts where the light can make a difference. In this little terraced house, you can see originally the two terraced houses were identical. These little windows here in the bay, and particularly with all of this planting over the top, means the amount of daylight coming into the interior was very, very restricted. If you can imagine, the light from the sky is most intense directly above our heads, and as we go down towards the horizon, reduces in intensity. So if you're getting light in from a high angle, you tend to get more effective daylight. That's why roof windows are so effective. In this case, the daylight coming into this front room here is very, very restricted. It's quite a low window, and with all that shrubbery over the top, that's restricting it even further. In this particular case, what's happened is, although the floor level is in fact here, we've taken the window up to this point and divided the bedroom above from the living room downstairs with a little desktop behind this point of the window, meaning that the light coming into the living room can come in from a very, very high angle, almost from the same angle that a roof window would give you daylight. And it makes an enormous difference. In this particular case, the front of the houses, the street front of the houses, was facing due south. So the rear of the houses, the only other opportunity for daylight was facing due north. So getting the maximum amount of daylight in from the front to serve the depth of the plan was very important. Now, next one is adding a room. Sometimes it's possible to squeeze in another room. Sometimes it's possible to find an opportunity to get another room in without necessarily taking up too much space. One lovely example that I was very pleased with was this little cabin. This was actually in a large flat, and the couple had a baby and they wanted a bedroom for their baby. They couldn't see how they could do it, and we came up with this lovely notion between us with them for a cabin that was on wheels that presented a little bedroom for their baby. It's really, really cute. Perhaps more conventionally, you often see bathrooms up within roof spaces. As you can see, quite narrow space here, but enough space for a bath with a shower over and a basin. And just to enhance the space in this bathroom, you can see something very simple, a great big mirror, really bouncing the light around, enhancing that daylight, enhancing the sense of space yet again. A very neat trick for finding a new room. Quite often you'll find a bedroom, you think, how on earth am I going to get a bathroom to serve this bedroom? It's a guest room. I'd really like an ensuite for this room. This is a trick learnt from the boutique hotels who used to convert grand old hotels. All the hotel rooms now need bathrooms. You bring the bed forward, create a wall here which acts as a sort of bed head, a couple of pocket sliding doors either side, a loo and a basin round to one side, a walk-in shower round to the other side, create a nice little ensuite bathroom in the same size room that you had before. Here's an example of exactly that. In this particular case, the bedhead wall became a real visual feature. We did it in this very, very dark, beautiful book-matched timber veneer, and had little recesses for books and bedside lights mounted on the bedhead. Moving on, storage space. Clutter is one of the biggest enemies of a small house. The fact is, we'd all have loads of stuff. It's very, very easy to think, oh, wouldn't it be lovely to live in that minimal way? But what would I do with all my stuff? The loft's already jammed up with stuff, the garage is already jammed up with stuff. What am I going to do? The secret is good storage. And the secret to good storage is about making it work within the geography of the interior of your house. I talked about the bedhead idea for creating a bathroom. In exactly the same way, you can see here, a bedhead has been built, not all the way up to the ceiling, and behind there is a wardrobe. So it creates lots of wardrobe space. The bed was brought forward. Again, light fittings are mounted on it, and it creates a nice little walk-in wardrobe area within the room, making the bedroom work very, very neatly and allowing this very clean, almost minimal arrangement of space, which enhances the small space. Storage doesn't have to be tucked away. Sometimes it can be made a feature of. Sometimes we can turn it to a great integrity. Here you can see the storage has been used to great decorative effect. Very effective. Key to the storage is understanding what you're storing. Don't try and design shelves and then shoehorn your stuff into it. Figure out what sort of stuff you want to store and design the storage accordingly. In this particular case, they wanted the ability to screen things off. You can see DVDs and a big screen and other machinery like the skybox and that sort of thing down here. Doors either side of it which slide away to create a very clean look when not being watched. Opening the doors allows you to watch the telly and to access all the storage. Taking that one step further, here we've got a little home office space. Again, you can see how the doors will just pull shut. You have a nice clean wardrobe space, but when some work at home needs to be done, the doors are opened, chair pulled up, and there's your computer, filing, etc., all there waiting for you. Don't have to clear everything away. That was a very successful project. The client was very happy with that. Another, again, quite unusual one. This was actually in the same project as the little cabin bedroom. We had lots of fun in this project, lots of funny ideas here. This is actually not just a multi-purpose storage unit adjacent to the kitchen that's got wine storage, places for cookbooks, glasses, all of those sorts of things. But actually the whole of this piece is a great big door. You can just about see a big, big heavy-duty piano hinge spine down here. And the whole of this piece opens up, and behind that is a cupboard that had the boiler and the cylinder in it and a load of more storage. But rather than just having a door, we made the door itself a piece of storage in itself. So there's loads of ideas for storage that can really help declutter.